Hey there everybody, this is 22 Tiger Dude here, and I'm here to review Moonlight. So Moonlight is written and directed by Barry Jenkins, and Moonlight tells the story of Chiron, who is this boy that's just trying to find his place in life. He lives in a very rough neighborhood. He has a mother that isn't quite the best, and he gets picked on at school. He just has an overall rough life, trying to find his place, finding his sexuality. And so we get a 3-act structure where we focus the first act being his childhood, the second act being his teenagehood, and the third act being his adulthood. So I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys when I say that Moonlight is a film I didn't really have much expectations for. It's not a film I was dreading or anything. It was just a film I felt pretty mixed towards. I do want to be honest with you guys and say that normally these films that deal with gay characters are films that normally don't connect with me. I don't have a problem with gay people. I just want to make that disclaimer. I have no problem with a man together, or a woman together. I have no problem with that. But when it comes to movies, I just can't find myself connecting to these stories. But to my surprise, Moonlight surprised me. And yes, that whole gay aspect is definitely there. But I was very impressed with this film because it was more about Chiron and him discovering himself, and I think that's why I ended up enjoying Moonlight way more than I thought. I was very impressed with the structure. The first act focuses on his childhood, which I really loved. That was so great right there. Second act focused on his teenagehood, and the third act focused on his adulthood, and I actually really was compelled by all of these stories. I think the cinematography in Moonlight is just absolutely gorgeous. This movie has some of the best cinematography of 2016. This is a gorgeously shot movie. It is so artistic. The storytelling, as I've been saying, is so compelling. The writing by Barry Jenkins is very impressive. And it actually has me looking forward to what Barry Jenkins can bring in the future, because I have to say, he actually did a great job with this film as far as writing and directing. There's a lot of incredible framing to Moonlight that honestly took my breath away. This movie feels very honest with its screenplay, because this is not an easy film to watch, as you do follow Chiron, because he really does have a hard life. I would say even specifically with the second act, I think the second act was actually the hardest to watch. And a lot of credit does go to these 3 actors that portrayed Chiron. The one that plays Chiron as a child is Alex Hebert. The one that played teenage Chiron is Ashton Sanders, and the one that played adult Chiron is Trevante Rhodes. I'm pretty sure I butchered a couple of those names, but all of these actors have done such a great job of bringing Chiron to life. These 3 made their performances very believable, and it's because of how strong their performances are, I was really able to get behind Chiron, whether it being a child, a teenager, or an adult. These 3 actors, they really deserve a lot of credit. You also have Janelle Monae from Hidden Figures here, who gives another terrific performance. And then you also got Mahershala Ali, who was also in Hidden Figures, and he was really good in that film. He's actually in this film for not that much, but I have to say, he's actually my favorite character in this film. I was actually really liking this character, and it made me wish he was in the film more, because he's not really in the film that much, to be honest, but when he's there, he adds so much to the story. At least in my humble opinion, he actually adds so much to the story, and I was very compelled with this character. Everyone in this film is honestly really great, whether they have a small part or they have a big part to the storyline. I think they all served well for the storyline. Naomi Harris, she gives a powerful performance as the mother, especially as you do go towards the third act. There's a scene in the third act that she has that, wow, did it have my heart pounding because of how powerful it is. And I have to say that this is a very well executed movie. It's very artistic. There are some slow moving shots. I loved how slow this movie moved at times, with some beautiful music to play in the background. And that's something I have to say. The score in Moonlight is utterly terrific. This score fits the atmosphere of Moonlight. It really does flow well. It's so beautiful. Now, the only problems I personally do have with Moonlight, I will say, is that I did wish that Mahershala Ali was in this film more, because I really did love his character, but they don't really use him that much. I do wish that he could have been in the story more, because I really did find his character that interesting. There's one particular scene dealing with two characters. Without spoiling anything, some of you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. It's just two of them sitting on sand. And how this scene was executed, I thought first it was poetic. It was very subtle. I really liked what Barry Jenkins was doing with that scene. And then as the scene was going on, it didn't really feel as subtle, and I felt like that they could have cut away. I don't really think that certain portion of that scene had to really be included in this film. And I will say, the third act, when Chiron is in his adulthood, I don't think it's as good as the first two acts. I'm not saying it falls apart. I need to make that clear. The third act is still terrific. It is terrific. I just don't think it's as interesting as the first two acts, because I thought the first two acts, they were a little more powerful. And especially when you compare the third act to the second act, where a lot of things happen, and then the third act, it's kind of more calmer from there, in which I could see where Barry Jenkins was going. I think after all the harsh stuff that happens, I think he wanted you to kind of take a breather when you get to the third act, but I don't think the third act really had as much of that emotional weight as the first two acts did. But I still was very compelled by the third act. Overall, Moonlight is fantastic. I was blown away by this film. It's very artistic. It's very beautiful. It tells a great story, a very great human story about this young boy that's growing up to adulthood, discovering his sexuality, finding himself. It has terrific performances. Barry Jenkins' writing and direction was really stellar here. So I'm gonna give Moonlight 3.5 out of 4 stars. So you guys, in the comments down below, let me know what you think about Moonlight. This is 22 Tiger Dude here, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power!